Hey everyone, I wasn't planning on making this video as it's not about anything gameplay related, but I was like, why not try something different? Recently a sketch started circulating that is supposedly based on the Pyro Archon's design. There were already some existing information about visualizations, descriptions, and examples about the design of the Pyro Archon according to leakers, but this artwork was given a 10 out of 10 approval by them, and it is consistent with their earlier information. The sketch itself, it's actually pretty good, so props to whoever drew it. Now, for her actual design, it seems to be heavily inspired by a carnival theme, and the mask reminds me of the typical masquerade outfits that people wear. However, a lot of people are unhappy with this design for the supposed Pyro Archon, and as someone who has played this game since launch and has silently gone through every single controversy and drama related to the game, I wanted to share my 2 cents about the topic and give you a glimpse in the past to show you how this type of reaction is really nothing we haven't seen before. First off, a lot of people, me included, were expecting the Pyro Archon to be similar to Himeko, as the only known name for the Pyro Archon that we know of is Murata, which is Himeko's name in Honkai Impact 3rd. Obviously, she doesn't really look like any of the Himekos, so if you had that expectation, you're probably a little disappointed. And I'm kinda on that boat. I would have much preferred her to look like Himeko, similar to Raiden and Mei. But hey, it is what it is, I guess. Another popular criticism going around is how she doesn't look like the god of war that the Pyro Archon Murata is described as. For instance, how can this woman dressed in some dance clothing be the Archon that will lead the war in Natlan against Capitano? Now, I'm not the most knowledgeable in Genshin lore, but I just looked at the wiki and it says that we actually don't know Murata's current status. So I think Hoyo may be going with this design with the intention that the Pyro Archon is no longer how Murata was described, but this other new character that we don't have knowledge about and that we'll meet once we get to Natlan. The other main criticism about her design is on the culture she is supposed to represent not being correct. I'm not going to pretend I know anything about this topic, so I won't really address this. I think there is plenty of room for character design criticism, as Hoyo's characters definitely have their flaws, and it's perfectly fine to just not like a character's design. There's a reason why they create so many characters. Some you will inevitably not like, but some will grab your attention. So I'm not here to defend Hoyo's actions or anything about the Pyro Archon, but I just wanted to remind you guys about a few key things about this type of early information before you decide to jump on the Doom post train. First, let's be honest, every single pre-release info gets Doom posted once it's released, whether design-wise or kit-wise. Shen Yun was heavily touted as a pretty low-value pool, just a gene alternative. Don't think that really got anywhere seeing her strength when she was actually released though. Design wise, I think every character gets their share of negativity. That's just the nature of some people liking different characters. If I remember correctly, our 2 most recent Archons, Farina and Nahida, didn't cause too much controversy with the design, but the real big one that I vividly remember living through was Raiden's release. When her design was first leaked, so many people were trashing on it. The most popular joke being the Ying-era comparison because of the braid, and people really wanted the long straight hair, like me. And we were super confused when we learned that she was actually a polearm user and not a sword user. Now, of course, Raiden's design isn't perfect, but I think it's fair to say that the majority of players did like her design once she was properly showcased in official content, and she remains one of the most popular characters today, which is the complete opposite of most of the initial reaction from the leaks. This is just to say that initial negative reaction of pre-release info isn't new, and that a lot of times the reverse reaction ends up as the majority. The reason this is the case, and it segues into the second idea I wanted to point out, is that remember that this design is very early info about the Pyro Archon's supposed design, and it's just a piece of artwork, nothing 100% confirmed for in-game. Once more reliable info comes out, and especially official news, we can better evaluate her actual design. We don't even have a proper model yet, so realistically I think it's still too early to judge how she'll really look. It's likely it will be similar, but again, we're still quite a ways away from Natlan's release. And keep in mind that the 10 out of 10 similarity rating that was given was based on the Pyro Archon's original design. What does original design even mean? It could really easily be the first version Hoyo had made, and she could be very different now. So again, it's really too early to know for sure. Lastly, even if we assume this design is pretty representative to the real thing, character art design is just one part of a character. The other big portion is the character story. Some things that may seem to not make sense from this initial artwork, such as her carnival-like dress in a war-torn Natlan, may make sense as we play through the story of Natlan. A character's backstory, motives, and actions are extremely important in shaping who they are. Just take a look at Farina, whose identity drastically changed as the main story for Fontaine was completed. You're free to dislike how a character looks, of course, but ultimately their appearance is just a portion of the overall character design. So yeah, that's just all I really wanted to say about this early information about the Pyro Archon's design. Yeah, like many others, I would prefer if she was similar to Himeko for reasons, but if the artwork is indeed accurate, I'm pretty indifferent about it. I don't really like it or hate it, I'm like, whatever. Remember that nothing is confirmed with info this early, though. But ultimately, the main thing I'm interested in is her kit and how she'll potentially change the meta. But we've got a long time before we get any details about that. Feel free to discuss your thoughts about this in the comments, but please be civil this time. If you like content like this, feel free to leave a like and sub to the channel, and yeah, I hope you all have a good day.